Right, YouTube, I should have done this video a while ago, but I've just decided to do it now. Sorry about the glare. If I turn my light off my phone, you can't really see anything. So tonight's video is a quick review on the Superstar Lord. There's the microphone that came with it. I was lucky enough to be given this, and I quite like... Just turn that off for a second. I quite like the old classic looking rigs, and this is a new radio, sorry, some people don't like them being called rigs. Made to look like an older radio with a chrome front, but what sets it apart is the round corners found with the older radios, transceivers. They were more square, the corners, and the length and depth. It's only probably just over 1.5 inches tall. It's a few inches shorter than a normal radio. Let's get precise. 6 inches, which isn't a lot for size of radio before we get any of those comments about manliness. Yeah, and just over 1.5 inches. So it's quite a small compact radio, which kind of sets it apart. If you put it next to a 40 channels, say radio from the 70s or 80s, you'd notice straight away the round corners and the actual size of the radio. Mainly because the stuff on the circuit board is all smaller these days. Very basic front. The facial is just the channel display, signal meter, AM, FM. It's actually a triple switch, although it's only labelled with two things. We'll get to that in a minute. Your volume, squelch, channel selector. So if you want a nice basic rig, radio, transceiver, very basic. Is missing extra knobs and stuff, but it's a basic radio. It's not, anything high end. So for mobile radio, that's all you want. You only want easy access knobs and a decent channel selector. You don't want fiddly little buttons when you're driving, and it is designed purely as a radio for the car. So home base, it might not be suited for you. I like it for CTX because again it is very small compared to alternatives. From what I gather, I haven't done any research on this for a few months since I got it, but when I got it, I done the usual thing, went on YouTube, Google images, and came up with very little. So I thought I'd make a video because most of the videos I saw were either in Italian or Spanish, and 90% of them were just people operating the functions of the radio with no one speaking. So here we go. From what I gather, it was made in Spain, and as default you turn it on and it comes on the Spanish 40 channels. You then have to turn it off, flick the switch to the middle, turn it on, select your country, and flick it back to FM. We'll go into that soon. A lot of new radios do this now. The Cobra 19 EU, whatever it is, compact little thing. You have to turn that off, hold down the AM FM button, turn it back on, release the button, then choose your mode. And every time you want to change mode again, you have to turn it off, like the Cobra. Hold down the button, turn it on, select your mode. But this we flick the switch back across. So, they've done this just to eliminate, an extra button. You'll have to change going for your modes, and extra circuitry and extra microchips to keep it simple. So yeah, it's not too complicated. It's got auto squelch as well as manual squelch. The auto squelch seems as good as all auto squelches, but not as bad as some. Nice display. Average on side, not too small, but certainly not too big. On the plus side, on the rear of the radio, don't worry if you are getting bored, I am going to plug it in a minute. Again, basic. You've got your external speaker, stroke headphone, your antenna socket, and it has got a small jack for signal meter. If you do want to plug in a full size signal meter, you have the option. Or again, if you're not too sure, a lot of people say the quality on built-in ones are not as good as the one you sort of spend £80 for. You can buy a bigger signal meter The thing that does ruin it is they've got a sticker over the Squelch Auto Manual Max. Obviously, I think underneath it's probably written, I don't know what, something else. I'm not going to peel it off to look. If anyone else knows, feel free to comment. But again, I think because it's a multi-regional radio, it might have something else written under there, and then the labels depending on the country. So that does kind of kill the overall look of the radio. You see there, if I cover the light, you can blatantly see there's a big sticker over there. It's a silver sticker, but it does kind of kill the chrome. Right, now I'm going to plug it in and turn off the flash on my camera, because it kind of is causing a lot of glare and making this video very, very bad quality. Oh, 6-pin jack. I'm not going to unplug it because one of the pins came out the other day and I had a big 2-inch pin sticking out the front. It is a 4-wired microphone, so you only need 4 of the 6 pins. Luckily the one that came out wasn't actually in use. Microphone doesn't feel too great, but again, it's standard. It's a standard mic. They're not going to give you an expensive mic. Right, I'm just going to clear a space and plug it in. Right, again, so apologies for lighting. I've turned the flash off now, so I've gone from too bright to not enough light. I'm in the garage. It's not the best place for light. I've just got that light there and that one up there. I normally just run off LEDs with the solar system, but they're certainly not bright enough to make a video. Right, the radio's plugged in. It's a 10 amp power supply, if that's what you want to call it. Right, so as I said before, you turn the radio on. Nicely lit up, nice clear LED channel selector. But, like I said, as far as I'm aware, it's on a Spanish frequency, which you can't actually determine to find out what frequency you're on. So if you think you've knocked off the power by accident, you're not sure if you're still on the mode you want to be on, you physically have to turn it off, flick the switch to the middle, the AM FM switch goes in the middle, turn it on, there you go, E5, go down to UK. So it's not too much of a bother, flick it across, and you're back on the UK 40. So, you know, this is off-putting for a lot of cultures, countries and people. A lot of people can't be bothered. It's no problem to me. Ooh, wrong one. Flick switch, turn it on, down to, flick it across, and you're on the UK 40. Right, we'll go through them now. Turn it on. We've got E5, PL, U, EC, EU, D2, D3, E5, PL, there we go, all the way around. Right, let's get it back on the UK for no reason at all. I'm not going to transmit, the antenna's not plugged in, and I don't have a dummy load. Audio's not bad actually, audio's quite good. Again, squelch on and off, and then it rotates all the way around as normal. Squelch seems to be quite good on this. I don't have any problems with it juddering or, you know, not being that accurate. Channel selector's got a nice chunky click to it, so you know that you've turned it and you've selected a different channel. None of this freewheeling spinny stuff that you get on some radios, which is fine if you're spinning for a big band. But you know, obviously, mobile radio in the dark, driving a car, operating. You know, you want to knock it down to, you know, you've knocked it down to, up to, and that's all there is to it, really. Very small, very compact, very light. If you want it for just FM, it's absolutely spot on for that. It's got no fancy bells or whistles. It is just a CB radio. You can use it in other countries. You could probably mess around with a skip on it. Conditions, you know, have been good the past couple of years. You could probably pick up all sorts in here. I know myself, you can pick up all sorts in here. But now we'll go for the paperwork side of it. Right, wouldn't really call it the paperwork side of it. I just printed out, when I went on Google Images, all I found was a picture of the radio and then a picture of this. So I printed this out and I take it with me when I go out with the radio. And of course keep it in the shack. Europe, SEPT, tells you the frequencies, doesn't do AM, FM 40. Europe, frequency, it covers AM, FM 40 on both. Germany, obviously we saw Germany 2 and 3. Presumably that's 2 and that's 3, or the other way around. There's the frequency it covers. AM 40 channels, FM 80 channels. So that seems good. United Kingdom, FM, no AM, because obviously this radio was built after they'd done away with AM and they thought no one used it. FM 80 channels. I'm yet to work that out. When I have my radio on FM, I've got 40 channels. I flick it across to AM. It still seems to transmit and receive on FM. So I'm not sure about that. Poland. There's the frequency. Probably can't see because of the light. But I'll put a shortcut or something, a picture up of this in the description so you can see it yourself. Again, AM, FM for Poland, 40 channels in each. And you can also modify it. It says at the bottom here, after modifications, Russia export frequency AM 120 and FM 120. So there's like 600 and something channels on here. Here's a 4-watt radio. There's no high and low power. Doesn't say anywhere in anything I've seen high or low. It just 4 watts, I think, on everything. I think when you put it on a couple of these AMs, I think it does go down to 2 watts, but majority of it is 4 watts. I don't have that to hand, and I'm not really too bothered about that. I just use it for the UK40 and it bangs out 4 watts, which is fine for me. So there we go, Superstar Star Lord, nice compact multi-mode. I'm going to refer to it as a straightforward 40 channel radio. I know it's not, but if you are looking for a simple 40 channel radio, it is good. But if you want something with a few more bells and whistles, it's not going to be for you. So I'm not making a video saying, you know, I've just unboxed this video, it's fantastic, everyone should buy it, because it doesn't suit everyone. This is great for portable radio activations, CTXing as it's called, as we call it, the CTXs. It's absolutely great, I think, for the car, although it's not actually permanent in my car. But for the shack, it's a make do. You wouldn't want to run this permanently in your shack. It's quite small. You'd want something a bit more desktop obviously on the shelf or your desk in the shack. But as portable and mobile go, I give it a thumbs up. So that's it really. I'm probably going to give it a 7, maybe an 8 all round. I'd probably give it a 9 if it wasn't for the fact you've got to turn it off, turn it back on, select your country, flick the switch. So yeah, probably give it an 8. The audio is great. I've had fantastic replies from my audio. It's received fine. It doesn't seem to be having any problems with me at all. Well, I've had no problems with it at all. I can't think what else I was going to say. Should have really made some notes. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video in English showing you it, because all I saw in Google Images was a picture of the front, and obviously the information there. I didn't actually get a chance to see the radio until it was physically in my hand. But like I say, it's 6 inches by 1.5 inches. Yeah, by 6 by 6 by just over 1.5 inches. So it'll fit nicely into a car. A lot of people have problems, buying a radio. Damn, it's too big, doesn't fit in any of the modern cars. There's no little nooks and crannies to put things these days. But yeah, it works a treat for me. And I think that's all there is for it. Right, any questions? Just really, this video is just to help people out who have, seen one on eBay or been offered to buy one, and then I've never physically seen one. Hopefully this has gave you a little bit of a look around. And there's the S-meter. That's all you need really. If you want something more, buy a bigger, better radio. As basic radios go, this is quite a good basic radio. And that's it. Right, feel free to leave any comments or message me if you've got any further questions. I'm no expert. I didn't build the thing. I didn't program any chips on there, but I do own one, and if I don't know, I'll turn it on and see if I can find out an answer if you've got a question for me about it. Failing that, this is Wowsly, aka 26 Charlie Tango 941, saying 73s. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I didn't want to make the video, like I said, unboxing it, saying tell everyone buy it. I've had it a few months now. I've used it in the shack. It was good. Used it in the car. It was great. And I used it out in the field the other day, and it was fantastic. Slung a wire antenna up a tree. Bang. Where am I? I'm in Wiltshire. It's got me across to South Wales. S9 Radio 4. It was booming into Bath. Not sure about distance. Probably about a 40-minute drive, 50-minute drive. You know, £9-10. Swindon, it's quite a distance, about an hour and a half drive. £9 over to Swindon, Radio 5. You know, locally, distance does the job. Right, I'm going to stop talking because I talk too much. 73s.